focused and in frame. Anyone else getting tired of SJWs? Is America in general getting tired of SJWs? Is there going to reach a point when people just say, oh, a woman is an adult human female. It is what it is. If you're going to say it's something different, then we have a fundamental misunderstanding of language. We're literally speaking different languages if we're defining words that sound the same. Or we're going to have to say, well, you have a meaning, it means like subclause A, and we have a meaning subclause B, or one of us can just use a different word for woman, adult, human, female, biological woman, perhaps. Though I've heard some people on the left on Twitter say that the biological things are the same. The trans woman is biologically a woman. So there's really no arguing with that. We're at a point where we're always at war with Oceania, or 2 + 2 = 5. 2 + 2 equals whatever the state tells us it equals. All right, so anyway, Gina Carano in the blacklist universe of Hollywood. It would be sweet if some folk in Hollywood stepped up for free speech. I don't mean a newbie, but somebody who is ready to retire anyway, or somebody with, FU money, Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, somebody at that level, to just say, hashtag I stand with Gina, or talk about the importance of diversity of thought, or even an actor who's retired. I mean, what do you have to lose? And don't you believe in free expression? How hard is it to stand up for free speech, compelled speech, forcing somebody to say something against their will? It seems like you should have a compelling interest in forcing speech, and it should be examined under the strictest scrutiny. Probably the heart of this issue, the heart of the issue is just her not being on the plantation. She's a wrong thinker. She's not going to mindlessly accept every bit of nonsense that somebody puts forward. But the pronoun thing was a big deal for them, because that's a how many fingers now, Winston moment, or off to room 101, watch out for those rats, where it's part of the humiliation ritual of being compelled to believe something is wrong, at least if you believe in a causal universe of math being able to express your understanding of the universe to that extent, of words having meanings, referring to concrete things. If you believe in that reality, it's part of the humiliation ritual to put pronouns in your bio, which maybe is a bit of a stretch, but it's forcing someone to say something that is asinine. It's a humiliation ritual thing. So the kids on Twitter, these modern day witch hunters, are absolutely okay with blacklisting someone for the slightest failure of the humiliation ritual purity test. And at first you might think it's an issue of social media pressure that helped Disney make their decision, but I think it's more that the Disney globalists are on the same page as the Twitter sociopaths. If anything, Disney is further left than Twitter. Twitter has commies and socialists, and it's 90% useful idiots. But Disney is globalist. That is a very important difference. It's a much more dangerous. Gina is getting fired. That has shown me what gutless cowards Hollywood is. Robert De Niro will get on stage and say F Trump to thunderous applause. He should have gone back and watched that and been embarrassed, just absolutely humiliated by that. 99% of the audience agrees with him, and 100% of the globalist studio heads agree. Saying that you don't like a politician that your peers also don't like is hardly stunning and brave. There is zero risk in such a statement. It's embarrassing that Hollywood think that they are taking a stand at criticizing somebody half the country believe is Lucifer. Speaking of which, Hollywood is still talking about Trump. Biden is in D.C. Trump is golfing in Florida and just relaxing. It's over. Hollywood can move on. It's weird because it doesn't feel over. Everything kind of feels funny, like a glitch in the Matrix. Trump is out of office for good. That does feel over, I think. But I look at Biden and Harris, and I don't see a lot of confidence in the executive branch, which is very dangerous. If you don't have confidence in your leader, it's like a metastable condition. Something is balanced precariously, but it doesn't take much to change that situation. Then I look at Biden's cabinet and I see trouble on the horizon. People joke that Biden was going to step down and Harris would step up, but she looks even shakier than Biden. It seems like Hollywood and the media spend more time talking about Trump than Biden, probably because Biden keeps putting his foot in his mouth with his quote-unquote stutter. It's just a little bit of a verbal tick. He's doing just fine. He doesn't have dementia. No cognitive impairment there. It's just us. He didn't have that stutter 10 years ago. He didn't even have that stutter 5. It's just a stutter. I'm sure comedians and talk shows will be criticizing Biden any day now when they're not busy talking about Biden playing video games with his grandkids. Hard-hitting news there, CNN. Anyway, a brave stance would be somebody in Hollywood saying that they stand for free speech. But it's 2021 and the media is pro-censorship. The left is openly pro-censorship. I'm sure Sarah Silverman and Sacha Baron Cohen will stand up for free speech. After all, they had the freedom to say very racist and sexist things and make a lot of money doing it. You'd be waiting a very long time. Chelsea Handler, Amy Schumer, Silverman Cohen already made their money. Now they think censorship should be strictly enforced. Does that make them money-grubbing, hypocritical cowards? Of course it does. Nobody is going to take a principled stand in Hollywood because what exactly are they fighting for? America is just a commercial zone controlled by our liberal elite masters. Diversity is weakness. It always has been. People are tribal. Those groups with the highest in-group preference will be the ones calling the shots. It wouldn't take much, a few stars with FU money, to say that free speech must be defended, that Hollywood has a double standard. In the 50s, commies got blacklisted. Now, if you're not drinking the globalist Kool-Aid, then you're going to get fired. The commies have taken over Hollywood and the media. America has a very serious problem. The problem is exacerbated because the platforms on which to discuss the issues won't let us. America is not America anymore. It has slipped away. Gina is, I know her so well I can call her by her first name. Call me, I'm in the book, Gina, is a woman taking a shot at acting. You would think her fellow actors would support her and her right to diversity of thought. The left used to be free thinkers. Now they are in lockstep with CNN, Nike, Coca-Cola, and Hollywood. Bank of America, Soros, the Rothschilds gave billions to BLM. I'm sure that they're using that money to address the issue of the breakdown of the family in a community that lead to the very high levels of bad acts and things like that, which rap music gladly exploits, but the left will never criticize rap music or black people ever. There is an epidemic of violence against Asians, so the media blames white people for an issue that doesn't involve white people. If you're on the left, you're not raging against the machine if you parrot CNN's talking points. You're just a useful idiot pussy. Stanley Kubrick's Kid came out in support of Gina, so Newsweek says she supports far-right conspiracy theories involving Soros, and to do that is vaguely in the galaxy of anti-istophobic. How is a statement of fact istophobic? Is Newsweek saying one isn't allowed to mention Soros? Newt Gingrich scared the hell out of the purse puppy at Fox when he dared to mention the devil's right-hand man. Soros must be the most dangerous man on earth if he can scare the hell out of the media. When I saw that girl stop Gingrich in his tracks, I thought to myself, America is screwed. Nobody deserves a shield from scrutiny. If the media won't investigate something because that person is in a protected class, then they're not the media, they're Pravda. Believe it or not, Newsweek used to try and report the news. Trump broke them. They took their mask off. They are vermin, liar, worm tongue. Chris Gardner at the Hollywood Reporter did a story about Gina Carano's family. It's a casino industry or something like that. He tried to play it cool as if there was such a demand to know what companies her father was involved in. Why is it relevant to the current story of Gina getting blacklisted? The media does not even make an attempt at being impartial. They don't address arguments. They start by assuming the conclusion and just skip the evidence and rationale. They feel that they are on the right side of history. If you thought that you were fighting Lucifer, you wouldn't stop at anything to destroy him. Nothing is off limits. You would kill his babies to stop the threat, because by definition, Lucifer is the fallen angel who turned away from God. Nothing is unacceptable in your battle. If you're on the side of God, you can do anything. That is how SJWs feel every day. SJWs have nothing to believe in but what their globalist teachers brainwash them into believing. They haven't been taught how to think. They've been taught what to think, and to not think critically if it goes against the narrative. Screw the narrative. Go down every rabbit hole. Don't let the media and schools gaslight you. Everyone has an agenda. They are no exception. How is the media fair and impartial if they're all in agreement with each other in the far-left agenda? SJWs don't have anything. They don't have religion, nationalism, or pride in their ancestors because they've been brainwashed into believing it's istophobic. SJWs need to start thinking critically. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Alt Media.